The salty breeze played with the curtains in Raju and Priya's room, bringing with it the familiar scent of the sea. Outside, the fishing village of Coral Cove was just waking up, gulls calling softly and fishing boats bobbing gently in the bay. Raju, 6, and Priya, 5, were wide awake, their eyes twinkling. Rio, their dog, let out a tiny, excited sniff, and Mithoo the parrot squawked as if demanding breakfast. Ma hummed a cheerful, rhythmic tune as she prepared their morning snacks, and Papa, with a mischievous grin, leaned in. "Tonight," Papa whispered, his voice full of the ocean's magic, "our dream will take us to a place where the ocean itself learns to laugh, thanks to a little bit of courage." What happens when the quiet ocean suddenly learns to giggle? And how does a brave little fish help? In their dream, Raju and Priya found themselves on the shore of their familiar fishing village. But something was different. The ocean, usually a calm, murmuring presence, was silent. Not just quiet, but almost holding its breath. The waves didn't swish, they barely wiggled. The seagulls looked confused, and the fishing boat stood perfectly still. Why did the usually noisy ocean go completely silent, holding its breath over the quiet fishing village? Rio sniffed the air nervously, his tail drooping slightly. Mithoo fluttered his wings, letting out small, worried peeps. Raju and Priya felt a strange, quiet tension. The ocean seemed unhappy. It was usually full of life and gentle sounds, but today, it was like a giant blue quiet blanket. Suddenly, a tiny colorful fish, no bigger than Priya's thumb, flopped onto the wet sand. Its name was Finley, and it was a Giggle-Fish, usually known for its bright bubbling laughs that made the ocean water sparkle. But today, Finley looked miserable, its fins drooping, its colors dull. How could the ocean's happiest little Giggle-Fish lose its sparkle and its famous bubbly laugh? Finley tried to giggle, but only a tiny hic came out. It couldn't bubble. Raju and Priya understood instantly. The ocean was sad because the Giggle-Fish had lost its giggles. Without their bubbly laughter, the ocean couldn't breathe properly, and that made it quiet and unhappy. Raju and Priya felt a rush of courage. They knew they had to help Finley find its giggles again. This was a job for true friends. What brave act of friendship could bring back the lost giggles of a tiny fish and make the whole ocean laugh? With soft, brave movements, Raju gently scooped Finley into a small, clear shell full of water, holding it carefully. Priya, with equal courage, began to tell Finley the silliest jokes she knew. They weren't very good jokes, but they were told with such warm, loving friendship. Rio sat beside them, his big doggy smile fixed on Finley, and Mithoo landed on Priya's head, occasionally letting out a funny squawk. As Raju and Priya told jokes, and as Rio smiled and Mithoo squawked, Finley began to quiver. Then a tiny, "Hey, hey, hey," escaped. Then another, and another. Soon Finley was letting out full, bubbly, contagious giggles. Each giggle sent a tiny, shimmering bubble into the shell. How would the silliest jokes and the warmest friendship bring back the magic of laughter to a tiny fish and a giant ocean? As Finley giggled, something amazing happened to the ocean. With each bubbly sound, the water near the shore began to ripple. Then, a gentle ripple giggle spread. The waves started to swish, softly at first, then with joyful swish giggles. The whole ocean seemed to take a deep, happy breath, and then let out a giant echoing whoosh giggle splash. The ocean was alive with laughter. It wasn't loud or scary, but a softly funny, bubbly sound that made the entire fishing village feel joyful. Finley, now sparkling, happily swam back into the giggling waves, its job done. It was a beautiful reminder that a little courage and a lot of friendship can make the whole world a funnier, happier place. As the dream ocean giggled softly, a gentle warmth lifted Raju and Priya back to their own beds. The subtle scent of salty air and happy giggles seemed to linger faintly around them. What peaceful dreams of courageous giggles and a laughing ocean would fill their sleep tonight. Back in their cozy beds, Raju and Priya remembered the giggling ocean and brave Finley. Rio was curled up tight, dreaming perhaps of chasing happy waves. Mithoo was asleep, his feathers fluffed for warmth. Raju drifted and drifted, his thoughts filled with bubbly sounds and the comforting hum of a laughing ocean. Priya was already asleep, a serene smile on her face. Rio was deep in peaceful slumber, and Mithoo was still and content. Raju, Priya, Rio, and Mithoo were all drifting peacefully to sleep, their dreams warmed by the quiet joy of courage and the softly funny friendship that made the ocean giggle. Good night to brave hearts. Sleep soundly.